Thank you so much, Seth, for this opportunity to talk with you about my experiences through COVID. I'm Mary Sowers. I'm the Executive Director of the National Association of State Directors of Developmental Disability Services. Some people call us NASDDDS. It's NASDDDS. And our members are the directors in each of the 50 states in the District of Columbia who oversee services and supports for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. And so COVID has been an extraordinarily impactful event in the lives of individuals with disabilities across the country, the professionals who have chosen a career to support them, and the systems that are built around the supports for them. And so one of the things I've observed most during this time is probably the amazing buoyancy of the human spirit during COVID. And I say that from just the resilience of individuals and their families to sort of take in stride what is a monumental shift in their day-to-day lives, and making sure that individuals are healthy and safe and taking necessary precautions, but also thinking about our members and our state partners and how they really moved so swiftly to put strategies in place to keep people safe, to keep people healthy, and ideally, and with a firm focus on, in many places, the person-centered approaches to supports. So really trying to think about, yes, we have to keep people healthy and safe, but how can we do it in a way that reflects what's important to them in their day-to-day life? While there were some imperfections along the way, there's also great learning. And so I've been extraordinarily moved over and over again at just the commitment of individuals and families and the people that support them throughout this. I've also been really amazed as I am both a recovering federal and state bureaucrat. I have been really proud and amazed at the commitment of our federal and state partners to move mountains and to move them quickly to get things done for folks. Nothing grinds slower than the wheels of government, but I can attest that both in the states and our partners at especially the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services during this time really moved quick to put things in place. And that's just been really amazing to me. And I hope that it is actually a testament to what is possible for the future too, that we needn't be bogged down when we need to make swift changes to improve people's lives. But of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't just focus, as I suspect you're hearing from everyone, on the sheer strength, resiliency, commitment, and professionalism of the direct support professionals in our field. We don't have a field without direct support professionals, and they set aside oftentimes their own health and safety to make sure that they were there to provide supports and to give people an opportunity to live in their communities and to stay there. And so it's really been a testament that and frankly a call to arms that we just need to do better to make sure that the direct support professionals in our midst are really valued. So that's something that looms large in our lives. But one of the other things that while there are these probably anecdotes at this point, but these pockets of just brilliant innovation that are happening, we're seeing really born up from individuals figuring out what works in their day-to-day life, show us a path forward on making sure that supports can be individualized, can be really meaningfully tailored, and really engage individuals in the community in a way that they would like to engage in the community. So many of our systems rely on some of those long-standing service models or anachronisms that were built well-intended for a long time ago, and it's been difficult to imagine something different. And COVID, unfortunately, we want to go through again, but has given us an opportunity, in fact, a necessity to imagine things a little bit differently than we had before. So I'm cautiously optimistic that there's a silver lining there too. Some of the other pieces that have loomed large, though, in my mind during this time is that we have in supporting individuals with IDD, our systems, and I mean large systems, not just IDD systems in states, but we've not always done a great job of making sure that individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities have access to mental health care. And this has really, with the entire country, we've seen an increase in the need for mental health supports for a host of reasons across all populations. And, so true is that with individuals with IDD, and it's just yet another place where I think we need to focus attention and make sure that individuals have the supports they need for mental health treatment if they need that, but also just recognizing that this is a traumatic event for the whole country. And as individuals have had their lives upended pretty suddenly, that we're likely to have residual impacts of trauma for some time, and that we need to have a workforce and a clinical capacity to help individuals navigate those waters. So that's another place where, again, I think there's more attention to it. So in one way, I think it's a positive, but it lays bare some of the fault lines in our system that have been around for a very long time, but have been really accentuated during this period. And then finally, Seth, I'd just say, in addition to the pandemic, the events in June in Minneapolis and with the George Floyd murder have laid bare again the many areas of systemic racism and disparity that we have in our country. And NASDDDS has, our board of directors is extraordinarily committed to really taking an introspective look, both internal to our organization and to our membership, to see how we can do a better job. Many of the people and the families that we support are individuals of color, and the workforce that we rely upon to provide supports is highly comprised of individuals of color in different cultures. And we just have frankly an obligation to make sure that as we conceive of supports and services and as we design those, that we have attention to that as well with our systems moving forward. So there's a lot that is, I could probably regale you with all the things that wake me up at night too, that COVID has revealed, but I'm really quite amazed and ever more really in love with the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities and really the entire backbone of the service system and the individuals that support them. We provide very intimate services for folks. And it's very important that we really think about those things that are important to people on a day-to-day basis, and never has the need to be person-centered and take everything one person, one day at a time been more apparent to me than it is right now. So I'm really glad you're taking this project on, and I'm just extraordinarily honored to share my perspectives. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say we've got an entire really magnificent team at NASDDDS who stands ready to help state individuals with disabilities, families, anyone in different times. So just there's a lot of resources at our association. So thanks again, Seth, for this.
Thank you, Mary, for sharing your story. I deeply appreciate it. Thanks.